full. We commanding the block. Burgundy and gold got the city on lock. Hustling plays, ain't no need to pretend. DC reppin' strong and we fight to the end. Commanders moving, no breaks, no pause. Hands in the dirt, respecting the call. K-Dot in the mid, dissect the grind. District divider with a city in mind. Trying to dance why, don't miss a bit. And you gotta spread the words, so shit is shit. K-Dot.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided, a DC sports podcast. More specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Amit. That is K-Dot. And this episode, we got a Jayden Daniels injury update just recently. So we're going to go ahead and go through that, what it means, etc. Then we've got the meat of this episode, which is the preview against the Detroit Lions. We are at home, 4:25 p.m. Eastern time. What the point spread is, what we expect to be able to do against these guys, what we're worried about with the Detroit Lions coming to town, with our predictions and the comment mailbag to wrap up the episode. But before we begin, if you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and K-Dot.
There's a washing machine in the kitchen. I don't like that. Share this shit. Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Share this shit. We greatly appreciate you guys. And without further ado, let's begin with number 5, Jayden Daniels. So some news just dropped. So if you see me look up at the other monitor, it's because I'm just reading this verbatim. So this is what came out from Ian Rappaport of NFL Network. Sources: Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels' MRI and medical opinions revealed positive news, as his dislocated left elbow is not as serious as originally anticipated. There was no ligament damage, and he will not need surgery. Daniels was not immediately placed on injured reserve. Okay, so there's no ligament damage. The earlier report was no fracture, which makes you wonder what even happened. I honestly don't know. But anyway, that led to, if there's no ligament damage or no fracture, like what does that even mean? So then John Keim goes, Jayden Daniels won't need surgery per source. Had heard Monday there was good news about Daniels/surgery, but they wanted to run more tests to make sure. Heard he's just, quote, feeling a little sore, end quote. This is why he wasn't placed on IR. What this means going forward, don't yet know. You should see the replies on this one. Some people are like, hey, shut him down, don't care. Other people are like, what is he made of? Other people are like, is he playing Sunday? Okay. And then here's a more sobering report from Ben Standig. This is part of his, now he does this write-up, which is really good on the Substack. According to Dr. Anu Navani, medical director at LaRave, a center for restorative and regenerative treatments focused on spine, orthopedic, and musculoskeletal conditions. If there's no joint damage or fractures, then immobilizing the elbow in a sling or brace at 90 degrees is the call. This would allow tissue inflammation to decrease before structured rehabilitation. Navani, who is not part of any medical evaluation with Daniels, is, quote, very optimistic, end quote, of a quick recovery. In parentheses, this is 1 to 2 months. Okay. Should the injury to his non-throwing arm be a straightforward dislocation. The shorter end of this timeline would be in line with the Vikings game, thanks to the bye. So that is all the information we have. You get rap sheet going, hey, no ligament damage. We know about no fractures, which is great. Keim goes, he's just feeling a little sore. I was like, wow, maybe I wouldn't have just worded it with just that. And then you got Standig with, the more medical opinion that he cites with 1 to 2 months, which I think makes more sense. K-Dot, your reaction to all that?
I think everything is true, right? So like so I didn't know any of this stuff because I was busy doing something a little more fun this morning. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, have you ever had anything dislocated?
No.
Have you been around people that had things get dislocated?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I've been around enough people that it's sore. Like that's the main thing. If you haven't ripped or torn anything, then that's what you're going to be. You're going to be sore. And above all people we know, if there's one person that's not going to let anybody quite know how it is they're feeling about anything to get back on the fucking field, it's JD5. And we also know he's not to throw around the word I know the sports junkies, Brian Mitchell, all of them young as they get in little fights now, but I'm not gonna go as far you can't go as far as to call him injury prone because the connotation what injury prone really means, right? It was oh, you're a magnet for injuries, all kind of things, which is not necessarily it's just because of his style of play. he's going to get injured, and he has been injured over the course of this time. But quick recoveries almost every time around, like sometimes probably quicker than he needs to be. But I think right now what you're going to hear from the team is to leave everything as vague as humanly possible, so you give yourself maximum flexibility for what it is that's happening. If Mariota goes out there and starts lighting the fuck up, then we're still in this thing, right? I mean, Mariota can light it up as much as he wants to. The defense is the issue. But if we're still in this thing, right? You talk about a Vikings game, and then Jayden can come back. Who's going to be against that if it means that we could potentially get into the playoffs, right? But there's also a standpoint, if we lose every fucking game between now and that Vikings game, then who the fuck's going to want Jayden out there? But you also can't pretend he's hurt or do this or do that. You got to leave the timeline good. So it's just keep it fucking vague. It's fine. What do we know for sure? Regardless of whatever the fuck is going on, he ain't playing for a few weeks. That's okay.
Yeah. The overarching point is that this is good news, right? He did not do any sort of long-term damage to himself. Ligaments are fine. The bone itself is fine, just dislocated. So it's going to be sore. It's going to take some time. We may still shut him down for the season. Who knows what the team is thinking?
I doubt that.
But I also doubt that. I do think that they are going to not like forcefully put him out there. If he were like, actually, I'm not, they're not going to be like, yeah, here you go. He's going to want to play. There's still stuff that needs to be improved upon. And it is about making sure that development, it's year 2. He's still developing, like making sure that that is still taking place. We are not in a position to be able to just say, shut him down. Everything's great. And we're looking forward to next season. There's still stuff we need to improve on. And so we will see what ends up happening over here, but wanted to give that update. Kate, you want to say something? Go ahead.
I just want all the fans, and the ones that I cursed out last week. This is when you guys have those charts around, or that diagram of FedEx Field where all the injuries happen. Just know how this one's different too. He's fine, fuckers. He's fine. He's gonna be okay. Okay, this isn't an Alex Smith situation. This isn't Joe Theismann. Chill it the fuck out. This is why it's different. They're all different. It's just a different thing.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I do hope happens during this period, Kid, while he's out, is some reflection and like how the playing style. Look, he's not injury prone, but if you flip it prone to injury based on playing style, if he continues this way, he will be prone to injury. But we saw last season that he did a much better job of taking care of himself. So it's important that he gets back to that type of style. Go ahead, Kid.
This flashed on ESPN yesterday, and I made sure I took a screenshot. Most times contacted while rushing or passing the last 2 seasons. Jalen Hurts is second, and that don't count because the fucking touch put bullshit. And then Mahomes at 293.
Yep.
How many games did he miss? He's still like 322. That's not going to be conducive. So, that's the thing. That's
the playing style is unsustainable.
You gotta stop doing the bullshit that you're doing. You have to.
Then you will be injury prone. If you continue on this path, then you will be. But if you're smarter about it, and this is where the coaching staff matters, helps you protect you from you while you're playing as well and what's going on mentally, then you're not, because we've seen it.
Yes.
Right? Like last season, we saw you're good. Didn't miss a game. Left the Carolina game, came back. He was good. So that is possible. But the way that he has played so far lends itself to the idea of injury prone. I know he's not that. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and talk about this game to come now against the Detroit Lions. Once again, 4:25 p.m. We are no longer America's Game of the Week, thankfully. And we will be shown to some audiences, but not the main audience. But we always begin these with the context in the form of the injury report. And so we begin with us. Of course, Jayden Daniels not practicing. Terry McLaurin also not practicing. Terry, if he were to come back, probably after the bye. After this game, we have Miami abroad in Spain. Then we got the bye week. Then we return Sunday night right now against the Denver Broncos. We'll see if that gets flexed out. Everybody else practicing, though, at least in a limited fashion, or they are practicing fully. And so that's our side of it. K-Dot, let's go ahead and flip over to the Detroit Lions, where the big name there is Kerby Joseph, who's an all-pro safety last season. He's not been practicing as of right now, tracking not to play, but we'll see. And then the other big name over there that I want you guys to pay attention to is Taylor Decker, along with Penei Sewell, who are the 2 tackles both limited from DNPs on Wednesday. So those are ones that you're going to want to look out for. The other guys are pretty much full and good to go. So with that, we go over and look at our offense led by Marcus Mariota this week, and Deebo Samuel pictured over there against Aidan Hutchinson and this Detroit Lions defense. So K-Dot, over to you on this side of the ball. What are you looking to see? What are you hoping to exploit? And what are you worried about?
Well, first off, like just overview. That quickly, the tables have turned. They're turntables. Okay. I think I can't speak for you, but for me, one of the greatest nights or days of my entire life was that goddamn divisional playoff game.
You can speak for me. That's fine.
Okay. All right. It was an amazing moment, right? I hope all the fans remember that moment. You know, just close your eyes, think back to it, right? But then I want you to think about the context of that. Detroit was beat the fuck up. Okay. They were injured like a motherfucker. And guess what's happening now? Okay. If you want to talk about Dan Campbell coming out with his team being fired the fuck up for this game, just know that. From an energy level standpoint, these motherfuckers are going to be flying around. So just keep that in mind. We need to make sure we keep the juices and everything kind of flowing throughout this game. Okay. Yeah, man. So like the way I did the breakdown on this one this time, because I always like to mess around with what kind of disseminate the information. I want to get what Detroit does and then what our game plan should be against what Detroit does.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Coverage and pressure. No shit, right? Heavy man, love to blitz, and they leave their corners on islands because their corners can usually take care of stuff because they get what they need to get done within the confines of their a very aggressive defense. So Terrion Arnold and Meek Robertson, they take care of stuff on the outside, one-on-one matchups, which, in all honesty, outside of Deebo Samuel, does not necessarily speak volumes for what it is that we do offensively from a wide receiver standpoint. But that's the opportunity that presents itself with what it is they're going to do. Now, I'm going to come back to the blitz thing as far as the Washington thing because there's an important aspect of that going into this game. Beyond that, Aidan Hutchinson, that's the guy. You just circle him. He is one of the best defenders in the entire league. He's a game wrecker. He's everything that we want in a player on defense that we don't have. And he's a drive killer. Like if you're talking about like third down and you think you're going to get it, Aidan Hutchinson finds some way to just will himself into getting it. There are a few guys in the league that could do that, right? It's him. He's in that Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons category. He's just younger and kind of putting it together. But that dude is a problem. And then Brian Branch, as far as like blitzing and mismatch and fits and all kinds of stuff, just a problem. They're also they are so clean in tackling. Like they're just clean. It's not a missed tackle sort of team, right? It's that energy level that you see, the one that we keep talking about, we want the Commanders to play with. That's what you're going to see on that Detroit Lions defense. They come fired up. They gang tackle. They wrap up. They do shit the right way. You're not going to see a whole lot of shoulder checking. You're going to see guys wrap up people. So that's what they do. And they do all of those things very, very well. Now, the first thing I brought up was the man and the blitz thing. I got a stat for you.
Go ahead.
Marcus Mariota has been blitzed on 43% of his dropbacks this season. It's the highest rate among 35 quarterbacks with at least 100 dropbacks. While Jayden Daniels has been in and out of the lineup due to injuries, Mariota has been the more efficient quarterback against the blitz. He's 15th highest in completion percentage at 61.5%. While you know where Jayden Daniels ranks? Last at 47.3. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. You've heard me talk about this shit nonstop all season long. And the game plan is going to be the same here this time because we know what defenses are going to try to do to us. That's what they need to do. I talk about the man and the blitzing thing. If you remember, that's kind of what other teams have done unless they have a front four. They just get there. And even if they do, they're still blitzing because they know keep guys near the line of scrimmage, attack when it comes to the rushing attack, and let the wide receivers kind of beat it. Look, if you want to let the wide receivers beat us, let the wide receivers beat us. But at the end of the day, what you end up seeing is a lot of guys playing necessarily off the line to make sure that they're not getting beat deep. But what does that leave? It leaves you opportunities in the quick passing game. It's how you beat the blitz. It's how you get them to start changing up what they want to do defensively. And it's what Marcus Mariota has been doing to keep that completion percentage a lot higher than Jayden as far as getting rid of the goddamn football. But there's still things that I want to see within the confines of the offense that I'm not necessarily seeing as much, or I'm seeing blips of, but not necessarily an overall fundamental thing. Where are my tight end screens? Where are they? Where are my tight end screens? This is the thing where it's like the quick outs, the slants, the Deebo Samuel in motion and hitting him when he's 3 steps off the line of scrimmage in stride just to do it is what's going to keep this defense honest. You have to keep it moving. There's a reason the offense looks faster when Mariota's on the field. It just does. It's because he's completing things. And that's all we got to do is just keep ahead of the sticks. That's going to be the most important thing. And you're going to hear me say something along these lines every fucking week until they do it, and they do it successfully throughout the game. Like, there is opportunity here. And I don't know about, did you watch the Kurt Warner thing?
Yep, the whole thing.
What'd you think?
He was right.
I kind of wanted you to give me props, but whatever.
No, it is everything you said, kid. It is everything you said. Yeah.
Your boy
The
knows
Seattle one in particular, where I was just like, oh boy. Like, yeah.
It was hard. You couldn't ignore the shit. But that's
Correct.
this is why I'm saying that there's some things with Mariota that makes me kind of excited. Not things that I don't think Jayden Daniels is capable of doing, but things that he just hasn't done yet. So, like, I do think for the offense and where they are right now, when you see Jayden not necessarily trusting the wide receivers, I'd rather have a game right here, kind of what you alluded to last week with Jayden. If we're going to have a bunch of drops, have a bunch of fucking drops. But I'd rather see those than the passes not being made in the first place. So, like, there you go. That's the number one thing with a fucking bullet in this particular game against heavy man and a blitz-heavy team. You see the blitz coming from one side, you know what I'm going to do? Slant to that fucking side of the field. Scare those bastards, right? If they're going to have a bunch of guys over there, get behind that blitz and fucking murder them. And you better have Cliff, you better have quick fucking adjustments and everything from Mariota to know, hey, think it's coming from here. Quick. Hey, audible. You're doing this now. You're doing this now. Also, motherfucker. No, I mean, he's not playing, but I'll tell you this. I don't know. Rice meaning a screen to Luke McCaffrey is the dumbest fucking. He went to Rice. We fucking know. You can't call Rice and not know that the ball's going to Luke. I'm just saying, work on that shit. I did hear that shit come across the TV, and I'm like, really? Like, just know what y'all doing? All right, so that's that. That to me is going to be the fundamental thing all season long. Until I start seeing them get the goddamn ball out quickly, you're going to see me have problems with it because our quarterbacks are going to get hit. They're not going to, and the defense is just going to be able to tee off on us all goddamn game if we're not going to do this. Because you're having Mariota drop back for these long fucking developing routes is not going to be conducive for anything. You've got to scheme guys open with this. And what does that mean? First read, hit, boom, go.
There you go.
All right. Beyond that, and I'll do quickly through the rest of the shit because I've spent so much time on that. Move the spot. You're going to Aidan Hutchinson is going to want to tee off at a particular spot. And if he knows where you are as far as the depth or whatever, he's going to know, hey, from a technique standpoint, this is all I got to do to get to this particular point. Move the fucking pocket. I want to see bootlegs, man. I want to see them move things away from just letting our guys be static fucking statues getting leveled off on with Aidan Hutchinson just knowing what kind of depth he needs to get to. Move the spot, move the pocket, move things away from Aidan Hutchinson if necessary, just to keep him honest. And to protect the edges. Aidan Hutchinson, once again, the guy to kind of look out for. I don't want to see a situation where we have Connolly or any of these guys one-on-one with Aidan Hutchinson. That is not going to be conducive to a good game for us. Chips, blocks. I think that this is your perfect opportunity for your Ben Sinnott, your John Bates, hopefully less Zach Ertz of chipping and getting out in the flat. There's going to be opportunities there. So, like, that's something to take advantage of. And also, there is an opportunity to run right at the heart of this defense. I think that's something you got to keep doing, to be honest. In all honesty, I actually think this should be a bigger Chris Rodriguez game than even a Bill Croskey-Merritt game. This, to me, is like inside zone, run traps right at Aidan Hutchinson and let the other guys try to beat you. But you got to keep that thing going with the game, with the pass game. I want to see guys pulling, and I want to see them running downhill. That's something they got to do. Run downhill, keep the middle of that defense honest to keep some stuff on the horizontal game going for you as far as the quick slants and things like that. And then as far as just they're going to be doing some man beaters. This is usually where Zach Ertz is going to kind of shine. to whatever degree. I know that Mariota doesn't necessarily have that same connection with Zach Ertz that Jayden has with Zach Ertz, but I think that you have some opportunities right now to just exploit that. I do think the tight ends are the way to go with that, because I actually do think that they are the biggest matchup issues compared to what I've seen from our wide receiving core, which, like, outside of Deebo Samuel, not a single other person has done anything long enough for me to be even remotely afraid of them if I was playing defense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. There you go. So when I was viewing this, I looked at the point spread, 8.5 for Detroit. So we'll get to that with the predictions, of course. And I go, okay, well, whenever I see a point spread greater than 7, time of possession is super important. I also know that when we went against Seattle, we abandoned the run before the game even started. So the first thing I want to see is, are we willing to run, right? And if the answer is yes, I think we have a chance in this game. If the answer is no, I don't even know where we're playing, to be totally honest, because we also, while Mariota 61.5% is great against the blitz, it is something that Detroit does regularly. This is not something they will be doing to try and exploit something. This is just what they do. They're comfortable in it. This is an underrated Lions defense as well. They are 13th in points allowed and 8th in yards allowed. So they are better than people think, right? We think about the Detroit offense a whole lot with Gibbs, Goff, Amon-Ra, and we'll get to them. But this defense is underrated. Have you heard of Al-Quadin Muhammad? Have you heard that name before?
I feel like yes, I have, but yeah.
Yeah, and so N-1, Aidan Hutchinson wears 97. Al-Quadin Muhammad wears 96. Aidan Hutchinson has 7 sacks. Al-Quadin Muhammad has 6 sacks. Okay, so like they are right there with each other, right? So that's a name you need to look out for. Also, it's not just going to be Aidan. It's going to be Muhammad as well that's doing his thing. So they also blitz their linebackers, like you were talking about, K-Dot. Both Derrick Barnes and Jack Campbell play a whole lot for them, have 4 sacks each, right? That lends itself to what K-Dot's talking about. Something quick to a tight end, right? Backers leaving. That's a possibility, right? But most importantly, the way I view this is I trust Marcus to be able to run the offense and get us to move the sticks. I need to see us run the ball because it feels like it's been weeks since we've done that with our running backs. Ever since we heard we were number 1 in rushing, it feels like we just stopped or we have not been able to do it well. And so I want us to be able to get back to that. And I agree with you, K-Dot. I like Chris Rodriguez in this game.
I agree with you. The only pushback I give, and that's for everybody when it comes to rushing attack, and I'm trying to mention this a bit in the All-22, and it's kind of hard to mention fully because we're just not doing it a lot. So there's not a whole lot of tape for me to like talk about. But in those short moments that I do see us running the football, at least recently, it's funny you said that like once it got known that we had the number 1 rushing attack, it's like we stopped. I don't necessarily think that's the case as much as everyone else in the league also knew that we were the number 1 rushing offense. And I think what you end up seeing is because of what's happening with the wide receiver room, and because especially what you see happening with Jayden Daniels not trusting our wide receivers, they're teeing off against the run. And the thing is, like, you can keep running, but like if you're going to do that in the standpoint of like if they are stacking that box, then there's no way. Because remember, when it comes around the football, it's basically just you're trying to do it. It's mano a mano sometimes where it's just like, hey, we got equal number of guys. We're just going to run at you. And then whoever's strongest is just going to do it. The majority of the time we have success running, it's what side are you running to? And do you have more blockers than they have defenders trying to get you? That's the entire thing with the running. The problem has been they are throwing everyone at us in the rushing attack. So like, I just don't want us to get hell bent on. I think you got to watch the way the rushing develops. I think that if you see early on in the game, we're just said, fuck it, we're just not dealing with it. That's a problem to me because I'm like, you at least got to test the theory, right?
Yeah, that's my first check. Exactly.
Yeah. But the thing is to me is like, I think the bread and butter of this game and why I spent so much time on it is invite the blitz. Bring it. Please bring the blitz. Bring your blitz to me. And I'm going to beat the blitz because I got a quarterback that can make the quick read and do that, right? And Mariota, motherfucker, do not turn the goddamn football over because I can see it right now. You want to, you son of a bitch. Don't do it, okay? Because that'll end this thing pretty quickly. I want the blitz to come. I want early on in the game for them to be blitzing us like shit. And then with that, we start hitting those beaters as far as in the slants and everything else. And then come second or third quarter, we barely seeing it. Or if you do see it, it's just because Detroit's being stubborn, which they can do sometimes, and just wanting to be like, we're gonna outman you on this. And it's like, all right, guys, if we can get them into that mode, I think you have some success with some stuff. It's not to say don't run the football. You got to, especially early on. Let's see what it is they're going to do. But I think it'd be completely asinine for them not to do what every other team has done recently, which is sell out against the blitz, because we've lost by 20 points with 3 games in a row, which is like, okay. So,
and to your point, K-Dot, and this has to be noted as a reason for optimism. So Marcus Mariota has been pretty good overall and a bit up and down, and people are like, oh man, we need Jayden back. When he's played at home, he has been really, really good, right? So like when he came in for Jayden against Carolina, and it's Carolina, and when he started the game against Vegas, it's Vegas, but we're talking 40 plus points. You know, like that is what he's capable of doing. And in the friendly confines of Northwest Stadium for him, like when he's played here, it's been really good. So it's just another reason for optimism.
I think the biggest thing with Marcus is going to be there's a difference, and this is where it is that like the offense and the defense and that complementary football and all these variables start working in. You have a shot with Mariota if you stay in this game. If you're down by 2 or 3 scores and you're trusting Mariota, then he has to drop back and throw the football. You're fucked. You're fucked. Mm-hmm. If you got to drop back and not have any sort of rushing attack and not do the short passing game because you need to get chunks down the field, and Mariota's got to drop back, he's going to get teed off on. He's going to throw a pick. He's going to do those things because he doesn't have the special sauce that Jayden Daniels has. He just doesn't do that, right? But if you keep the offense on schedule, you have a shot with Mariota. You legitimately have a shot. But that also means a defense. We're not going to score every drive. We know this. But if Tressway does a good job pinning those fuckers back on the 5-yard line, please. Please.
And so we're already lending ourselves to the defense conversation. So let's go ahead and flip the script over here. K-Dot. This Commanders defense has been struggling to the point that Joe Witt spoke on Thursday, and it was known before Thursday, that he's going to move down field side, right? So he's been in the booth. That's our defensive coordinator, for those that don't know. I'm sure everybody knows, though. I don't know. There could be some casual listeners that are like, hey, you know what? This is pretty cool. Who's Joe Witt? So anyway, he's going to move down field
I want
side.
my Redskins name back.
Yeah, maybe that too.
I don't trust that darky on the defensive side. I need me a white man. No.
Loves the offense, Cliff. Anyway, so
I'm just saying there's a theme. And, you know what? We should have got that Drake May guy. He looked good up in New England.
The story that Brady cloned his DNA in North Carolina 23 years ago. And they think it's Drake May. Drake May's
it's his kid.
Can't rule that out. Anyway, so Joe Witt moves down field side, and the Commanders defense has some questions to answer, right? Quite a few, in fact, against a Detroit Lions offense that is really, really good, as you guys know. Not much more to be said. You know the names. It's Jared Goff. It's Jahmyr Gibbs. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's Sam Laporta. You name it, they got it. Jameson Williams. And this team is looking for revenge. And typically when they look for revenge, they get it. Dan Campbell is an excellent motivator of men. And this team is second in points per game. They're 11th in yards. They're just damn good. K-Dot, on this side of the ball, what are you looking to see us do well? What are you hoping to exploit? But then also, what are you worried about?
So while we're on a skid, you're not going to necessarily say that Detroit's on a skid, but they're definitely not they haven't been as explosive as they typically are over the last few weeks. They haven't faced a defense as bad. So like at the end of the day, this feels like a get right game for these guys. So I guess same sort of way that I did it on offense, I'll do it here on defense. Middle of the field, baby. That's where Jared Goff's going to throw that football. So in between the hashes, right there in the bread and butter of that defense, everywhere that you have seen all season long has made you want to cry because some ball mission that they just don't communicate properly. But my hope is that Joe Witt's on the sideline and he's in shouting distance of the guys on defense. Hey, hey, Trey, get the fuck back, bitch, get back. Like, that's what I'm hoping. Yo, hey, move over there. Like that, I'm hoping I get some of that just to get guys in the right positions. Unless we got like guys like Mikey Sanishow throwing everybody under the bus on Instagram, but I don't know about all that. All right, now, oh shit, I forgot the camera moves with me. So like,
It does. Yep.
So middle of the field stuff. That means defensively, our defensive backs have to do something they have not done a great job of this year, which is communicate and know who's responsible for what. And if you're gonna sit in that zone defense, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff are gonna eat you the fuck up. Period. Point blank. That's what it is. Sam Laporta, all those motherfuckers, like they eat up the middle of the field. They're going to force you to miss tackles. They're going to do things and just drive at the heart of this defense and dare you to stop them. And for the most part, most defenses can't, even if they're not necessarily as prolific as they have been the last few weeks. But beyond that, they also can get vertical, but they're very selective as far as how they get vertical. Actually, they've been more aggressive vertically than they even were with Ben Johnson, which is kind of a surprise, but also they're trying to get their identity kind of running on defense. And with that one, it's going to mean there's one guy in particular that you need to be afraid of when it comes to that, and it's Jameson Williams. And I think everybody can picture him running right past our defense and scoring like from 80 yards. I think that's something we can all vision board, right? Now,
I haven't seen it before, but you can visualize it.
Yeah, I think so. So Amon-Ra St. Brown goes without saying, middle of the field is going to eat us up. Sam Laporta, he does his thing, like tight end just does his thing. But Jameson Williams beating you over the top. But the main guy, the guy you have to be worried about more than any other guy on that offense, is a Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs has gained 183 yards and a touchdown, including 132 rushing yards before contact. 9.2 yards carry. It's 6 point something before contact. He's a problem. Like, in all honesty, like that rushing attack between Dave Montgomery let's just say Gibbs. Gibbs is going to be a problem for this defense as far as like whatever it is that they're going to line him up or do. This is a dude that's going to make people miss. If you guys are not going to be sure as far as your tackling, he's going to destroy you. That's even if you get hands on him. And if this is a dude that, like, at the end of the day, hardly has anybody get hands on because of how shifty he is. Because it's not just like they're scheming him open and he's running in just daylight. He does maneuver around and just don't let anybody fucking touch him. Like, he's that quick, he's that fast, he's that shifty. He out of shotgun especially, they love running Gibbs out of shotgun and he will just eat you the fuck up. And then the other thing, as far as the Laporta thing, which is just another mention, because it's something that we've also talked about a lot this season, they love option routes with Sam Laporta. So a lot of he's going to be at the line of scrimmage, chipping, doing whatever, and then he's going to read whatever the defense is doing and then find that out. All season long, I've been saying between the safeties, the linebackers, the corners, the communication and responsibilities as far as who's responsible for what and what the rules are, you guys have yet to figure it out completely. Hopefully, once again, Joe Witt being on the sidelines means you guys will play without your heads up your asses. So what does the game plan mean for us? You got to win early downs, but that's what's happening like all season long. You can't give them the quick shit. If they're going to throw, they're going to run, they're going to do whatever. You got to be stout. Like the only way that we get our defense running in the way that we want to do it, as I said last week, is when we're in those third and long situations where you can really tee up something in the defense. That's when we get kind of special in defense. That's when the defense actually looks decent. You don't see a whole lot of like 3rd and 15s being converted against us. It's because a lot of teams are not necessarily in that situation. They're in a lot shorter situations where they don't even make it to third down before they're moving on us, right? So like, that's the situation you kind of want to be in. You got to win on the early downs. You got to sell out against the run if that's what they're going to do. You got to make sure you're not getting beat. You got to play sound defense. I don't know if we're capable of that, but you got to. And then the other thing you're going to have an opportunity for is to bring up pressure as far as the interior. They do have some lanes and some opportunities if you start blitzing up the middle of the defense, which then leads to, okay, we know Frankie Louvu's actually playing now. Thank God. But he's been on the outside now. What this actually feels like, and going back to last season, it feels like one of those games where if you had the Louvu Bobby Wagner connection, this time maybe Jordan McGee, blitzing up the middle, this is something to look out for. I would say that they might bring Jordan McGee to do this, but also Bobby Wagner, who's had some success with this, might be coming as far as that interior pressure. But I'd also say that this might be the game where I might have Frankie Louvu more than just on the DN. I'm going to kind of switch up where it is. I'm going to bring that pressure because that's something we got to do. You got to trick Jared Goff. You got to kind of bring that pressure from somewhere that he's not expecting. And then you can kind of get him off his game. Yeah, man. As far as like, I think this is one of those games where because of Jameson Williams and because of Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got to play too high. Don't get beat deep. But then the communication has to be on point. The technique has to be on point to make sure they're not eating you up in these chunks of like 8 yards, 15 yards, and just moving methodically down the field. And if I'm being completely honest, I have yet to see the defense show me that they're going to be able to stop that Detroit Lions offense.
Yeah, which more or less sums up what I think. I have no idea how we're going to stop these guys. Truthfully, I mean, what I want to see, K-Dot, more than anything on this side of the ball, because you can have whatever game plan you want. I listen to your all 22s quite obviously, where it's just, Joe Witt is trying everything and seemingly nothing works, right? Or like very rarely does something work. It is a process over result game for me here, unfortunately, which is just, am I seeing improvement? Am I seeing better communication? Am I seeing younger guys get the opportunity to play? Right. I'm thinking more longer term. If Tyler Owens makes a nice play, if Jordan McGee makes a nice play, Johnny Newton makes a nice play, Mike Sanders still makes a nice play, Trey Amos makes a nice play, I'm thrilled. Like, that's where I'm at, because I don't think we are consistent enough to stop these guys. To be able to do that, you first need to, first and foremost, stop the run. You can't stop the run. Once again, sort of the same thing. If we're abandoning the run on our side and they are running the ball, this game's a wrap. It's over. If you are able to do that, now you get to the other hard part of this, which is stopping Amon-Ra St. Brown, stopping the vertical threat of Jameson Williams. I get the too high approach. I understand. I almost feel like we kind of need to roll the dice a little bit just to stop Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. And the thing that I'm most fearful of is Detroit's just, they're a smart organization. Ever since Dan Campbell's been over there, Sheila Ford's taken over they are going to use Jahmyr Gibbs receiving. And I am so curious to see what we're going to do about that. Right. I just don't know. I truly don't. Having to tackle him in space is not something I can even envision. Right. Not even in my wildest dreams. Maybe we can. Maybe Jordan McGee is suddenly able to. Maybe Kane Madrano's active and we're like, hey, he can do it today. Let's just see if it works. If it's Bobby, just say your prayers, because I don't see that going well. So you do need to get to Jared Goff, right? So it is going to be getting to Jared Goff with, I agree with you, Frankie Louvu, maybe Jordan McGee, someone quicker, right? Maybe Tyler Owens, someone quicker to be able to do that. And then just hope that you hold up against the run and take some chances, get a couple turnovers. You can come away with the dub here. But that, I do not have any optimism around this defense until they show me something.
I'm with you. I mean, that's why my predictions have been the way they were. That's why everything is happening the way it's happening. Yeah, man. Like, to me, so that's the thing that sucks, is that like going back to like Joe Witt using all the different sorts of defense, and like even when I'm looking at like the Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield thing, like I have answers for that. Like, I got answers for that. I got guys and where it is that they need to be in position on it. I even can tell you what the rules should necessarily be as far as like what they're doing and who needs to be responsible as far as Jahmyr Gibbs coming out of the backfield. Hat on hat, right? At least getting somebody there to slow him down, or getting somebody there to at least blow up a play if you know it's going to go to him, or at least remove the safety valve to some degree. Make it so it's muddy enough that Jared Goff doesn't take the Jahmyr Gibbs option in those situations. But the problem has been, even if you scheme it up properly, even if you have the right game plan, nobody's executing at the level they need to execute, right? So, like, that's the scary part, is that, like, you say Bobby Wagner as far as Jahmyr Gibbs out in space. Like, what scares me as far as Jahmyr Gibbs out in space is, like, if he gets beyond Bobby Wagner, right? Like, if Jared Goff has enough time, Bobby's on Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jahmyr's flashing down the sideline, night.
Yep.
Now, if Bobby Wagner's over there and he's the guy responsible for Jahmyr Gibbs, and he can tee off when this motherfucker get his hands on him before he's able to leak out of the backfield and beyond like 4 or 5 yards, I feel better about that. Bobby from sideline to sideline, as far as getting some of these running backs, has been decent this season. He's fairly decent. I mean, overall, the rushing defense, I'm being completely honest, has kind of gone downhill overall, but I think that's been more about a gap discipline thing and the miscommunication happened between Bobby, some of the other linebackers, and the safeties, where you get two guys in the same hole in a run defensive thing, and it's like, well, that means another hole's open. So, like, that's what I see most of the time. So it's just, it sounds mean, but I mean, in all honesty, I look at this defense and say, get your heads out of your asses.
Yep, totally agree. And with that, we go over to the predictions, where you will see that the Detroit Lions are 5-3. We are 3-6. The point spread is 8.5. We are home underdogs in this one, and the over/under is 48.5. So, K-Dot, from you, as always, I need a score, I need a winner, and I need a player of the game.
I think Detroit starts out with like Jahmyr Gibbs out of shotgun, receiving out of the backfield. And I think they have that when Washington's defense tries to play up close to the line of scrimmage to get past that. Amon-Ra St. Brown just starts whooping your ass from like the 10 to 15 yard mark in the middle of the fucking field. And with that, like, as much as I think that Mariota is going to be able to keep us in this thing, at least up to a certain degree, I do think Detroit ends up pulling away. Give me Detroit 30, Washington 17. Player of the game, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Cool. And I am going 41-24 Detroit, with the player of the game being Jahmyr Gibbs. Because I think, reflecting on the NFC Championship game, or not the NFC Championship, let's not reflect on that. The NFC Divisional Round game, the Detroit Lions, if I'm a Lions fan, I came away going, we underutilized Jahmyr Gibbs in that game, because each time he touched it early on, he was averaging around 10 yards a carry.
Yep.
And then David Montgomery would play. It's what they do, but all of a sudden it slowed down. Mistakes occurred at that point. I think this is a huge Jahmyr Gibbs day. I'm very worried about it. And so that's my player of the game. And so with that, we go to the comment mailbag featuring an intro from our very own Nikki.
Comment mailbag time, motherfuckers. District divided, ain't got time for no suckers. Spread the word, get in line. OGs and new G's, it's your time. And spread the gospel, cause this shit is divine. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, as always, for that intro, Nikki. And shout out you guys. Most views we've had on a video in some time. So we greatly appreciate it. And now we go.
Thank you, Kurt Warner.
Yeah, actually. And now we go to Steve Willie, shout out. Quote, Dante Fowler, I miss you. Really enjoyed that line from K-Dot, because we have had a difficult time generating any sort of pressure. K-Dot, your reaction?
I miss them all. I miss Chase Young. I miss Montez Sweat. I miss Brian Arakpo.
LeVar Arrington.
What are they doing?
Bruce Smith over the hill.
Bring them all. I don't give a shit. Did Hainsworth get a kidney? How's he feeling, bro? Oh, fuck that dude.
Yeah, seriously. Here are a couple more from Steve Willie. Players or not, why haven't the players picked up the D? McDonald been there 2 years like DQ and Jay. Wait, I knew you were gonna laugh at that. Go ahead, K-Dot. Why haven't they picked up the D?
Sorry, I'm a child. They do. They need to be aggressive about picking up that D.
They do.
You know? Enthusiastic.
All right. Well,
slob on my.
Sorry, Steve. The wording just made it tough there for us. Steve Willie also goes, Dallas got better with the Quinnen Williams trade too. K-Dot, your reaction.
Yeah, they did. You know where they'd be much better? If they still had Michael Parsons, the fucking dumb sons.
Yeah, so that was my thing. Once they made that trade, I was like, okay, that is an acknowledgement you screwed up.
Did you hear Jerry?
No.
Jerry he basically alluded to, he's like, I'm 80-something years old. I'm going to die soon. I'm sorry. I screwed it up. I need to win. We need to win now. And I'll admit, I messed up. That's what he's doing. It was an aggressive move just to do an aggressive move, thinking that if he gets Quinnen Williams on this team, that they are now going to be in the playoffs and headed towards the Super Bowl. I don't think that'll be the case, even if they are better, because they need talent.
Yeah. No, it's true. MF Quotes goes, yo, I didn't even realize it was Amit at first. That's referring to the intro last week where, frankly, I had expected to see the usual intro, and then we just sort of rolled with it, and now K-Dot's looking for it. So I could already tell.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
In DC, we're just.
Oh, sorry.
There's plenty more here. There's plenty more over here. Let's go to. Let's get these out of the way. Let's go to Coach Lombard with a couple annoying comments, to be totally honest. Here's the first one. The Jayden Daniels RG3 comparison is lazy, but there's some truth to it. Jayden isn't running an RPO offense. He's running the same read option offense that RG3 did.
Yes.
The issue is that I think people are afraid to coach and correct Jesus. That's a huge issue. Get out your reaction to that one.
Yeah, read offense RPO. Shut the fuck up. Like it's reading. You got an option. What is the defense doing? I get to make my decision. And the RG3 thing. How you gonna? What kind of backtracking is that? It's lazy. Let me do it. What the fuck? Like, what are you doing, Coach?
That's what I mean. Hit
We've been on the
behind
same
like
page for so long. What the fuck is going on? What was this run? Are you feeling
Coach smells blood and is going for it now. It's also happening on Twitter. Where Coach is like, yeah, I'm collecting apologies now on Jayden Daniels.
Oh, like that fucker. What's that motherfucker that was like
Joe A, NFL or whatever? Oh, yeah. Coach also said Joe A is right. See, so like, and here's the next one from Coach. Is Jayden Daniels and Kyler Murray the same guy? Both are superb athletes, but are massive sight throwers. At least Daniels is tall enough to see his receivers. Playing Jayden at all this season is organizational malpractice. It might be better for Mariota to start for the rest of the season. He's very much a Jacoby Brissett type. Curious to see if Jayden is still a sight thrower in year 3. I'm telling you, these are annoying comments. I disagree with all of it from both. K-Dot, your reaction.
I hope the next Geno's cheesesteak you has piss in the cheese whiz, you piece of shit. Fuck you, Coach. I love you, buddy, but like for real, like the fact that you, like, man, you've been like so legit this season in the sense of being even respectful about shit. But now, like I said, you
True
smell
colors
blood and water, and you guys want to dunk on Jayden. And with the Kurt Warner thing, everybody thinks it's like easy. But I'll tell you right now, if you listen to everything that Kurt Warner says, the first thing that he does say in any of this, and the same thing that I tell you every time I watch the All-22, is that he did it last year. We're just not sure why it's not happening this year. But there's things to point to, as in no wide receivers really being fucking healthy and defenses being able to queue off on them, where there's no complementary defense happening, which is giving us any sort of opportunities to actually play with a lead or play in the game where the game flow is completely different. So if you guys want to do what it is you want to do, which is like just find anything to back with your initial thing was as far as Jayden Daniels goes, and go ahead, be lazy pieces of shit. But beyond that, I think that everybody that's truly breaking down the game instead of just trying to fucking find some evidence for whatever ranking you fuckers want to have because you feel as though you're going to get an NFL GM job somehow, some way. Good luck with that. But like at the end of the day, I don't get it. I just feel like it's lazy as fuck. If you're going to do the thing and do the full breakdown, then do the full breakdown and give us the full context of what it is that's fucking happening instead of just trying to dunk on motherfuckers with like Kyler Murray fucking slander. Like, stop. Just stop.
I'll go ahead and do this, which is that, so Jayden Daniels, Kyler Murray, not the same guy. I mean, that's obvious. That's a trolling comment, so I won't acknowledge it any further than that. The RG3 thing, lazy, but then you do it. Once again, not going to address that. Here's what I will say. If you gave a quarterback who won Rookie of the Year, all these accolades, he goes to the NFC Championship game, he's gotten the furthest out of anybody, right? And also did it carrying a defense, did it carrying other people around him, carrying an organization that some people believe is cursed. And by the way, I'll entertain that. When it comes to Jayden Daniels' sophomore season, how many games has he played with this number 1 wide receiver from last year? And when the number 1 wide receiver from last year showed up with the backup quarterback, did he make 1 spectacular catch? No, he made 2. That's what he's been missing out on this entire season. The guy he trusts the most. That's why the Terry McLaurin thing was super important over the course of this offseason. We got him back. He got hurt. Injuries happen. That's what happened. Then you're allowing defenses to tee off on you, right? Exactly what K-Dot said. And you're still developing chemistry with these other guys. Chris Moore, I hadn't heard that name up until this offseason. He might be 2nd or 3rd in snaps at the wide receiver position. We also lost Noah Brown. We also lost Austin Eckler. That's another guy you could just dump the ball off to, right? So when you want to make lazy comparisons, right, feel free to do that on other pods, Coach, but give us some credit for being a little bit smarter than that because that was ridiculous, all right? Here's MF Quotes. Or I'm sorry, not MF Quotes, the Nathan Perry shout out. I'm on the same page as K-Dot with regards to the fan base. They're more draining than the losses. Enough pity party at this point. We've got games to win. Who from the Adam Peters class needs to be a hit to get things rolling? Kid, your reaction.
I mean, Jayden. I mean, at this point, everybody. But like, I look at, to me, the most important piece, just looking at like who can help us right now in this particular situation going forward in the season, is always going to be Ben Sinnott, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, the Sinnott stuff that I'm seeing as far as like people had questions about his run blocking, and the shit is superb now. Does he miss things every once in a while? Absolutely. You watch the game tape, he's not perfect. But the goddamn, the one thing I look for more than anything when it comes to run blocking is your eagerness to do it. And he's eager. He wants to lay his hat on somebody. And in the few very short amount of times that I've seen him with a football in his hands, I'm like, why aren't we doing more of that? So, like, that's the one guy in the sense of, especially if, like, right now, the fact that Zach Ertz is Jayden's safety valve, not Marcus's safety valve, to me means less playing time for Zach Ertz and more playing time for some of the other tight ends. And in my opinion, Zach Ertz has almost become a crutch for Jayden. And I think it's doing more harm than good at this point. And I do think that we need to have somebody out there that you're forcing the ball to and just seeing what happens. We're looking for playmakers, guys. Defensively, I think the die is cast. We might not have any. But offensively, there's enough guys that just need some more opportunities to show whether or not they got it.
So I came away with the exact same answer as you. Ben Sinnott is the most important person. Jayden's a hit, but after that, it's got to be Ben, especially this season, because next season, Zach's not going to be back, right? I mean, who knows, but I believe Zach will not be back. And right now, it's just Deebo. If it's Deebo and Ben, then all of a sudden you can actually run an offense, right? You can also run the ball a bit more. Defenses have to respect you a bit more. And Ben can be a bit more of a yak guy. He's shown he can get it, right? He's shown he can break a tackle. That's what you need at tight end. K-Dot picked the Vegas Raiders, and yeah, it's not going well, but the rationale behind it was Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers last week, 10 catches, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns, right? But he's been missing for some time, and all of a sudden, that's what he does. I'm not saying Ben is Brock, right? But having a guy that can impact at the tight end position is what we were going for. It hasn't worked out so far in terms of playing time and in terms of production, but it's about damn time we see it. So if he starts getting going, then the offense looks a lot better. We don't necessarily need to look at tight end in the draft, because if he doesn't hit at any point this season, you have to look at tight end again. You have to.
Oh, I'm not. Fuck that noise. I'm not doing it. Like, no.
It's what you're going to have to do.
I get it. I get it. I will say this. I think there's a correct answer to this question, and we both got it wrong as far as the correct answer. The correct answer is Trey Amos, in the sense of.
But I already think he's.
Yeah. Well, okay. Remember, like, for me, Trey Amos showed one thing. It actually has been getting worse. I think that's because just the whole defense and everybody's just trying too fucking hard, which might be the case, and Trey's just not being able to play with it. But in my opinion, like, if Trey ends up being a hit, then that is massive.
But then they can just avoid, like, to get things rolling.
Right. But but to me is like defensively right now, even if Trey Amos,
if I could have one hit, just to be clear, if I could have one hit excluding to get things rolling, Trey, 100%. You get a shutdown corner. Like, 100%.
Well, I think I would say the shutdown, even if I had Trey Amos being a shutdown corner this particular season, I don't think it matters as far as the defense. You need more than just him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, long term, yeah. But as far as this season and what it would do, as far as even if Jayden comes back and unlocks Jayden's abilities, like, that to me is the thing.
Yeah, I completely agree. So I think it's how we interpret to get things rolling at the very end. Right. Here is Tony. Shout out Tony Ochi. 3 thumbs up on this one, K-Dot. How do you muster the strength to keep going? is the question.
Philosophically, I am a dark soul. Okay. I don't think good people really exist. I think there's nothing really, but that's just my overall fundamental thought about humanity, right? Like, the idea is every day you got to find your reason. Look, there's a window right here. I'm about 6 stories up. It's very enticing, but you got to find your reasons. Okay. And and my reason is, like, I remember last year and what that felt like. I remember those games that I saw the Commanders play in the NFC Championship or going to the NFC Championship. I don't necessarily want to remember the NFC Championship game, but I remember those highs. And that's what you search for is like, I had a friend that called them glimmer moments, like glimmers, like moments that you can kind of go back to and be like, oh, yeah, that felt good. That felt good to be alive. It felt good to experience that. And I do know across all walks of life and everything, pain, heartache, sadness, temporary. You got to find your constants and keep moving, guys.
And for me, Tony, I hate where the team's currently at, but I love doing this. I love doing this with Kate Hot. And, I love that we still get these comments and stuff like that. So that's how I keep going. It also gives me community, and the misery loves company thing. It goes both ways. Like, we are here for you guys. And honestly, through the comment mailbag, for me, you guys are here for us too. Like, it just helps us be a part of this together. And when the brighter days come, like last season, I mean, the Cloud 9 comment mailbag is what we really should have called it. I mean, it was crazy. All the stuff we were getting and how much fun it was, how hungover I'd be the next day after, the divisional round, the wild card round. That was the best sports month. Like, I know the Caps one. I know the Nets one.
Time of my life.
Yeah. And I was going to say, and if I took the word sports out, might still be true. Like, it was unreal. It was funny. A girlfriend on Instagram sent me a post that said that they polled like DC residents, and I think a certain percentage greater than 50 said they would rather see the Commanders win a Super Bowl than find true love. And I was just sort of thumbs upped it. It was like,
easy.
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah.
But that's it. Look,
that's how much it means. Like, it's just incredible.
But with everything you said, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. The only reason it feels sweet is because you have pain to compare it to.
Yes.
That's it. Like, you got to have both sides of it and just know all of it is temporary.
And we're going to keep going. Here's Vindo, OG. Hey, I appreciate this podcast because you can justify the reasoning on why these difficult things happen. Watching the All-22, comparison to real teams that follow a scheme is something this fan base does not understand, and rightfully so. It's hard to win in the NFL, and it's even harder to build a franchise around a quarterback because if it wasn't, every team at the top of the draft would be in the playoffs. There are about 5 to 6 teams that actually know what to do with a talented QB, and even then sometimes don't have success for a while due to external circumstances like injuries, luck, and division rivals. I really think we have ruined the idea of fundamentally sound football, and the game keeps getting dumber and dumber because the expectations of one player is too high, and we don't allow time for them to fail. In our situation, honestly, though, I think Jayden, not in the lineup, shoots all hope I have had this season, but shutting him down in his second season, unless he's out for 2 to 3 months, is definitely a mistake because I want to see him learn. Remember, guys, we have Magic freaking Johnson. The man doesn't lose wherever he goes, and Josh Harris is a very patient owner, meaning this coaching staff isn't going anywhere, and rightfully so. Before I throw that over to you, K-Dot, let me just pat myself on the back. There were a lot of spelling errors in that one. I more or less nailed it. Go ahead.
Shout out to Magic Johnson. I think with the dot 18.
Guys, his name's Magic.
Oh, it's insane.
Name's Magic.
Every person I've ever talked to that says they met him, they're like, it's Magic, dog. Like he lights up. It's just insane. Like everybody remembers their moments with that dude. It's great. Shit, man. I could do an hour on this comment, honestly. But I
think it's a great comment.
It's an amazing comment. But
yeah, well done, Vindo. Yeah.
So Vindo, I'm going to take it from a different angle, just a little bit. So like, I agree. Everybody's seen. You can go back through we got a lot of fucking episodes, man. And if you go back, we've done more than one episode about like philosophically how it is you're going to build a team and build a franchise. Washington did not do what it is I really wanted them to do when it comes from a quarterback standpoint. Correct. The way they build a team, right? And you're kind of, and that's what I'm seeing is that like when people are giving Adam Peters shit about the lack of draft picks you have, I'm kind of questioning and being like, outside of Marshawn Lattimore, I don't understand what the fuck you're saying. And the reason being is that you have the franchise quarterback. Now, what you would typically like to do is build your trenches first, right? Draft some tackles, draft your defensive line, let them kind of generate and get some shit going and make sure you got some studs and then you can go because you usually got some journeyman or something back there, a Marcus Mariota type. They can get rid of the football and not necessarily get his brains bashed in the entire time as they're kind of learning or developing. but you had an opportunity to get Jayden Daniels. And look, man, I'm telling you, like between Jayden, Drake May, JJ McCarthy, like you throw out, and Caleb Williams, you throw out the rule book because you have a talent you're not really going to see all that often. And what do you have to do with that talent? You got to protect that talent. So what do you got to do? You got to make sure you got a left tackle that's going to take care of the dude, right? That's going to cost you draft picks if there's not somebody in the draft that's just a plug-in player that doesn't work in that way. Laramie Tunsil is that. Deebo Samuel, there is not one person more important to the way this offense operates than Deebo Samuel. He's the perfect lever for this, right? It makes sense. So, like, the moves and stuff that they've made have just made sense as far as trying to back up their quarterback and give him what he needs right now, not to basically die on the fucking field. It hasn't worked out that way, but that's because the other things you still need to build to be a perennial Super Bowl, like in the conversation, or playoff team, you got to build the trenches. We haven't done enough of that. You got to build, you got to get younger talent across the rest of the team. You don't have all of that. What you do have is a franchise quarterback that has a team that's just not good enough. So you got to build that team around this guy. But the first and foremost thing is to protect him. And I think they did it. The problem is Jayden needs to protect himself from him, or we need to protect Jayden from himself. And that's the mentality piece. They got the pieces. That offensive line is good enough not to have him being killed out on the field, right? Like we haven't seen, because of the offensive line, he's hurt. Like that's not the reason that he's hurt, right? Like it's just not that. So like, I just think the timeline is fucked a bit, but it doesn't mean that you give up, because the single most important piece is the quarterback. And there's so many franchises that still have built the team the way that I wanted to build them, and they never get the fucking quarterback. We got the most important piece. You got to build the other things. It just takes time.
Yeah, that's well said. What I would say is, and I said it last week, and I was guilty of this too, right? Like that we tried to accelerate this build, right? We had so much success last season. Looking at the individual moves, though, like at the same time, I understand we accelerated in terms of expectations, but I liked the moves that Adam Peters made. I was looking back at it, and I was like, you know what? He hit on a lot of these, right? So Deebo Samuel, I would classify as a hit. And then Laramie Tunsil, absolutely a hit. Eddie Goldman and Javon Kinlaw, so far, we shored up the run early on. I liked it, right? So, like, the Trey Amos pick has looked good so far. I think that Adam Peters actually did a really nice job. Where I was getting very frustrated was with how the Terry McLaurin thing was being handled.
Yeah. And
I do think that, for me, you cannot convince me that how late he signed had nothing to do with this soft tissue thing. So that's where I got frustrated, right? Because if that happens sooner, yeah, maybe you pay an extra couple bucks, something like that, whatever it may be. I think we have a healthy Terry. There's no way to know. What's done is done. That's the only misstep, in my opinion, of Adam Peters, was not anticipating that, or not being willing to go a certain distance with him. And you can also put blame on Terry being selfish if you'd really like to. I'm not going to go ahead and just pretend that, Terry didn't have a degree of selfishness in that. Okay. So, that was the part that I think was mishandled this offseason. And I do wonder what the record is. And I do wonder, like, if Jayden is more healthy because he's got his number one receiver consistently, if Terry is okay and that got handled better. That's where I'm at. But I think overall, not bad. Just the expectations just got super fucking high, which makes sense. Of course, they were going to be high after that.
I'm going to give you some credit on something. Now, why I might not be fully with you as far as a soft tissue injury or whatever, because you know that I had hesitation about wide receivers over a certain age and they become injury prone. But to shoot you some bail, Devontae Adams, 30 plus, Stephon Diggs, 30 plus, Cooper Kupp, 30 plus, all having great seasons. So like they did it. Like, that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, they did it. Now, did their contracts look different than Terry's? Yeah. But at the end of the day, if we're just looking at from an age standpoint, yeah, there's still juice in the tank if you're gonna do that. Yeah, I mean, the Terry piece of it, like, there are two things I think that you can lay at the feet of Adam Peters, depending on how you want to feel about it, but you can lay it at the feet. One is the Terry McLaurin thing. I think that there's an argument to be made. Do I think is it verifiable? No, but no, it's a case. The only one that I will absolutely say is a failure across all lines is Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, and at this point, by the way, I would agree. Right, like, I was willing to give him time. Hopefully, his confidence was coming back. The interception against Kansas City made me feel really good. The All 22 review, first ever game ball you gave, that felt really good. But it hasn't worked, right? And there's a really good shot. I believe his money's basically out. He might be under contract for one more season. I would need to double check, but it's over. It's
and I'd rather have that. I would rather have that draft pick.
Yeah. And also allow the playing time for another player, right? To be able to develop ideally, and so that's what that is.
Although I would say that I don't necessarily think that our defense would be significantly better.
That's fair. There is work to do on that defense. There's a lot of work to do on that defense.
I do think Cooper Kupp would have been nicer.
Oh, yeah. We even talked about it. We did the episode of who would you want over here? I think Cooper Kupp would be nice. I also I got jealous watching Nick Emenwari, for Seattle. I'm just man, must be nice to have somebody that you can literally line up just about anywhere. It's sort of like Kyle Hamilton, where just that size at safety allows you to.
Gonzalez, dog. Every time I watch
obviously
Patriots play,
I think if we have Gonzalez, we don't have Jayden. So I'm kind of okay with that.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, you know what? That's got me off the Christian.
That's my thing. So because I think we win an extra game and we don't have Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, we might have Drake May though.
Hey.
All right, hold on. Let me ask you that.
We develop him well.
Oh yeah, well, I don't think the offense coordinator is the same. I don't think anything's the same.
That's true. Go ahead.
But in a vacuum,
sure.
Let's say you build the rest of the team around it.
Mm-hmm.
This is just such a fucked up thing to ask.
No, go ahead.
Jayden Daniels or Drake May and Christian Gonzalez.
Ooh, Drake May and Christian.
I think it's a slam dunk answer, but
you think it's Drake and Christian?
It has to be just because of the two guys.
Yeah, that's really, really close for me. See, here's the thing. So we've been doing this podcast for a little bit now, and I think Drake has played really, really well, right? He's an MVP candidate. His throws look to be getting better and better, and you can see clear improvement. I still don't think he touches Jayden. I think the thing about Jayden is I think he is legitimately, we throw the term around, generational, stuff like that. I think he is legitimately that, right? I think he is legitimately somebody that is so much better than all his peers. And I still feel that way. I know he's having a rough sophomore year, but I still feel that way. So I would go with Jayden, but it is close because I love Christian Gonzalez. Yeah. And picking the side piece team, it was Josh McDaniels, the OC. I now believe Drake May is going to be really good. And this is exceeding my expectations. So I acknowledge that, but I'm still going Jayden. I think he's that. Yeah.
I get it. No, I'm not picking I'm not picking any of the other quarterbacks of that quarterback class over Jayden, even though I understand the arguments to be made, especially the Drake May argument. I get that, but I'm not going to do it. But the only way you would entice me, as far as looking at this franchise and this team and this roster.
It's a good question, K-Dot.
Yeah.
That's a really good, would you rather? Yeah.
I mean, to me, the proof is in the pudding. What's New England's record?
Hey, you don't need to tell me. I know that. they look nice, but Vrabel?
Vrabel, but I'm also saying, I think people are being stupid about this. I'm hearing people talk about the Patriots, and I'm sorry, they don't have a lot of talent. They don't.
But I'll also say this: they're also going against one of the easier schedules.
Oh, no doubt.
No doubt.
And they will continue to do it.
And they will continue to do it. So I think they'll end up with.
That's why I had them that high. That schedule was sick.
Indeed, it was. I'm glad you came around to my side piece team. Here's B. Wheeler. Here's B. Wheeler. That's what happened. We got recordings. Here's B. Wheeler over here. I've noticed that a lot of people, you'll like this, K-Dot, because I felt this was true. I've noticed that a lot of people who are fans from other organizations are happy to see our season implode. I expect the fans of our NFC East rivals, including the Bears and Detroit, to relish in our misery. But I was quite surprised to see fans from random teams celebrate our missteps. I think Jayden's success rubbed people the wrong way, and it feels like they've been preying on our downfall. Some of the comments I see pertaining to Jayden's injury show the disdain they have for him and our organization. People expect us to be bottom dwellers, so any success is met with vitriol. However, I'm still excited about Jayden's growth, the team's growth, and the growth of the organization. K-Dot, your reaction.
Comment mailbag time, motherfucker. It's the remix. Comment mailbag time, motherfuckers. We in the playoffs, no time for any suckers. Lions fans talking like they've seen a clone, but we all know losing's in your fucking bones.
we're all full of shit. Okay, I made that. Like you win, you talk shit. You lose, the people you talk shit to get to talk shit back. Like that's the way it works. I made a fucking music video for the Eagles game. They stomped us out, and I disappeared for a while. Like that's what happens. Okay, like this is part of the natural progression. Now I will say overall, yeah, we're feeling it particularly hard right now because you have to remember, guys. We were very high profile last year, okay? Do you see when's the last time we watched the Commanders play at 1:00 on a Sunday? Like, it's because that's what we've become. So, like, yeah, with that is going to come a lot of trash, but you're not going to talk to fucking New England Patriots fans for the longest time, or talk to Lions fans that have seen that success recently. 49ers fans catch that shit nonstop. And once again, I name all these fan bases, and probably you listening to this podcast are thinking about how much you hate them. Yes, it happens. Okay, it just happens.
Yeah, I loved this comment because I think, look, I spend a lot of time on Twitter, right? Some people have Instagram, some people have TikTok. I don't have TikTok, although maybe we should for growing this podcast. But yeah, it's just I know what's going to happen if I get a TikTok. Like, it's just not going to be good. So maybe we hire somebody to do that.
That'd be nice.
You know. Unpaid intern.
Hey, who wants to be an unpaid intern?
Yeah, exactly. Put your name out there. Go ahead. You can run our TikTok.
We'll give you our YouTube revenue.
Yeah, get a piece of it. Yeah, which honestly, payment coming, kid, out in a couple of weeks. So the thing I loved about this comment is that it is spot on because of the amount of time I spent on Twitter. You will see fans from all sorts of fan bases. B. Wheeler's right. All sorts of fan bases going, see, not that good. See,
Joe,
not that good. Yeah, Eagles fans make sense. Cowboys fans make sense. Giants fans make sense. Bears fans certainly make sense. Detroit, not so much. What, you think it does?
Dog, we talked so... Do I need to play the video again?
No, that was just that. By the way, just to be clear, was
you were just I was about to say.
Yeah. That was the whole point. I just wanted an emotional reaction from
you. Anything Detroit fans have to say to you this week, take it.
Yeah. Oh, it's fair. I am. Yeah. Tampa fans, right? Like all these fans don't want to see Jayden succeed. All of them, including Patriots fans who have Drake May and now know a lot of their posts are comparing him to Jayden. They're not even just like in the MVP race. They're like, see, and we got the best one. Everyone's coming for our boy because he was that good and that special last year, right? And they are used to Washington being nobodies. So I loved that because I think that's what that sort of vitriol and hatred represented was like, okay, they do view us as a serious thing now. And so now they're taking their shots while they can.
Yeah, I mean but that to me is like, yeah, I mean, I'm not some fucking. I always hate it, like I need haters. The haters need, but there's some truth to it. Like the more success you breed, the more success you have. You're gonna have haters unless you're operating in an asshole-ish way. And I actually give our fan base a lot of credit. I think even last year, if you look at the smack talk we're talking, mostly it was in response to people still saying that we were pieces of shit or that hey, this is an anomaly thing, and we were just giving it back. But yeah, man, it's just indicative of how far we've come. Is that it's not they're trying to what we're being made fun of is just different, and I think people just need to contextualize it. It ain't the Dan Snyder era; it's different. Even looking at the injury for Jayden, if anybody wants to compare it to something else, explain to them how different it is.
Yeah, completely agree. And there's Jeremy Quinn. Y'all got a legit franchise QB. Made it to the NFC Championship game. Keep the faith. It's just basically echoing what we're talking about over here. Here's Jamal Bibi-Sharb on we. Retiring Art Monk's number made me think about our past and come to conclusions that JD needs to have 3 blue chip receivers and a couple of good tight ends. Aside from a solid D-line, O-line, and running backs, Gibbs always had 3 receivers that made any quarterback shine. Based on what I heard here, JD needs receivers that he can trust to throw with his eyes closed. I think 3 is probably a bit excessive, but K-Dot, your reaction?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I'd like that if we can do it all and they're like rookies from the 5th and 6th round. Let's go. But if that's not going to be the case, which is probably not going to be the case, there's a way to build this team. It's still going to start from the inside out. And defensively, I mean, outside of Trey Amos, everybody can be replaced. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that do get replaced, which is going to be interesting. Because, I mean, I think that, like, when you look at things like Deron Payne, which I think everybody's of the idea that he's playing his last season with us, that's a talent. And now you got to make up for that talent. As I said, even in the beginning of this podcast, how many of these defensive ends that we've had over the course of the history that I'd love to have in there? I'm sorry, Dante Fowler.
Yeah. I would say that three blue chip receivers, again, excessive. I think having good receivers is important, but K-Dot, you have said this many, many times on prior episodes in the offseason, how to build a team, etc. Again, picking the Raiders with the tight ends. If you can get a blue chip tight end, right? Like the New England Patriots had a bunch of good slot receivers. Then they had like Deion Branch on the outside. It was Rob Gronkowski, right? Then you look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They had Tyreek Hill, right? Explosive, unbelievable. They also had Travis Kelce. Tyreek Hill leaves. They win 2 more, right? Travis Kelce just being the mismatch. If you can find a guy with Jayden, right, that is that matchup nightmare at tight end, because the league has yet to figure that one out over the course of 2 decades, then you're in a really strong spot. Go ahead, K-Dot.
Look, man, if there's one position I value, it's tight end for more than one reason. But outside of that, who was the guy I was obsessed with before he even got drafted by us? Ben Sinnott,
which is why he's the answer.
I think he's the guy. Until I'm proven wrong, it's still my dude. I just don't think he's been given enough opportunities yet.
Yeah, I agree. So that's why Ben Sinnott's my answer, right? Because if he can end up being something like that, it changes everything. It really does at that position.
You got to think about the position too. It almost feels weird because it almost feels like you have like a topper echelon type dudes. Like you got 2 or 3 of those guys and there's everybody else. But the thing with the everybody else piece is just how far it's progressed. There are some great fucking tight ends in the league right now. And like some guys that like really produce some shit. Like you look at even fucking like Buffalo, Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. I'll take any one of those motherfuckers to start on one team. Like the Sam Laportas and Tucker Crafts. And I
how about Ty Warren this year? Immediate impact, right? Watching Penn State games, I was like, please, this guy is incredible. All of a sudden, the Colts 7-2, right? Like he's a big part of that.
It's a cheat code position. That's what I'm saying. There are a few, as far as positions being asked to do more than one thing, and if you can do the more than one thing at a decent level, it allows so much more flexibility. I'd tell you, like what San Francisco is able to do with the combination of George Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk, if they didn't have those guys, that would look so different.
So, and Ben Sinnott being compared to Kyle Juszczyk in terms of like, that position. And then you can get another tight end, let's say, that we know is going to be really, really good, right? Now you're really working with something here, right? We drafted Josh Connerly, expected some bumps in the road because he's playing right tackle for the first time ever. Played left tackle, and we got Laramie Tunsil playing left tackle, right? So the tackles are taken care of, right? And then you also get a tight end that can help with blocking and is also a receiving threat. Changes a whole lot. Here's Earl Bruce. I first joined the cause in 1962, so I've been on the roller coaster before. I'm so glad that both of you are keeping the faith. Every team has massive swings. The key to lifelong fandom is being able to love your team in the darkest of moments and the brightest. So, they're in year 2 of the recalibration with a 1st, 3rd, 5th, 2 6th, and a 7th round pick in next year's draft. AP and his staff has to nail at least 5 of those picks. He also has to pick up viable free agents 27 years old and under. Not easy tasks, but he has no choice. The following year, he should have a full complement of 7 picks. Then they need to build up future picks like Roseman does. If they can do that, they will prosper. Hang in there, guys. K-Dot, your reaction.
Did you join in 1962 because the team integrated? I'm curious. It's
a good question.
Because that's the year they integrated. Because they lost a bunch of games in 60, and they lost a bunch of games in 61, and then they integrated in 62. Bobby Mitchell. Huh, interesting. I was just curious about that. I'd like to know the answer to that. But beyond that, no, I agree. I mean, there's some Adam Peters is so early on this thing, man. And I'm telling you guys, if we had won 7 games last year, everyone's happy.
Yes.
And all you fuckers are much more calm this year. Like, that's where I'm at.
Because the expectations set accordingly.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that you guys put enough credence on, at least this offseason. I know I kept telling you how much I thought it was an anomaly. And I don't want to base what we're doing off of what I consider to be an anomaly. There's still a process to go through, and you can't really cheat it. You can get close, but you can't really cheat the process. You can have a quarterback that's that damn good and take you to the promised land. You'll lose. You'll lose.
Yeah.
Not the Cam Newton. You'll lose. There's situations and cases of that. You need a team. You need a defense. Give me some of these Super Bowl winning quarterbacks that didn't have a defense. And then we're talking about offensively, back to what it is you were saying. You start looking at what are the variables that most of these guys have. Tight end ends up being something you see a lot. You don't see 2 or 3 blue chip receivers. I can tell you that. You start seeing certain things. Sometimes it's unheralded running back. Sometimes it's the most heralded running back. You got to have a rushing attack. It ain't that complicated. It's just how you get there. There are a lot of different ways to skin the cat, but you need certain fundamentals in order to win. And that means complementary football. What does that usually mean? Running the football, not turning it over, things like that.
On the subject of Ben Sinnott, because there is one thing. So I like the coaching staff, but I do think that sometimes they accidentally get put in good positions, right? So for example, with Jordan McGee, right? We're not playing the young guys. We're not playing the young guys because Bobby sees the field. That's the reason he's on the field, etc. Okay. Well, the defense is playing so bad. We have to. Oh, it turns out he's pretty good. The very next week, it's going to be hard to take Jordan off the field, right? So sometimes they get thrown into a situation where it's so dire or so bad and they have to play the young guy and the young guy steps up, right? So I need to see Ben Sinnott on the field before I could even make a judgment on the guy, because I think that him not playing is not necessarily him being a bust. I think it's sometimes I don't trust the coaching staff to do the right thing with these younger guys. Play them, give them a shot, let them screw up. Let's see, right? Jordan, it looks like it's working out. That's what I want to see.
I think there's something I'm noticing. And, once again, I love intangibles. I love the mental aspect of all that stuff. And I alluded to the last episode. Our guys are too nice. And I think that there's a player's coach sort of thing where it's you talk to these veterans that came here because they think that they're going to be there in the Super Bowl. You got some of these veterans that are in here and they're trying their asses off. And I think there is a part of Dan Quinn, Joe Witt, these guys that don't want to have those conversations with some of these guys. And I think that that's part of the gig. And I do think that you have a team feeling themselves a little too much. Once again, I'm not just blaming the fan base for the expectation setting coming off of last season with the NFC Championship game. I'm also saying the players felt that way. The organization to a certain degree felt that way. And I think all you motherfuckers were just in la la land. And I do think that there is an element to, I think that people look at that team last year in that organization as these are the guys that got us to an NFC Championship game. There's a sacredness to it. And I'm still coming from a philosophy of this is still majority of the team and the pieces and the aftermath of the Ron Rivera era. No one's safe.
Yeah. Yep. Completely agree. Jim Ralston to conclude the comment mailbag. The offense has been missing its biggest weapon in Terry McLaurin, and there is no running game like they had last year with Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler. Those things might not have helped on Sunday night, but they definitely could have helped this season. Terry McLaurin needs to get healthy fast. I'll tell you this. Terry McLaurin being healthy would have definitely helped in this past Sunday night game, just because you could tell Jayden's had a tough season. And again, I put a lot of that on him, but I also put a lot of that on Terry not being there. Go ahead.
You remember one of the arguments I had as far as Terry not getting re-signed was that I thought it would make Jayden Daniels grow because he'd have to figure it the fuck out. You're failing the assignment, son.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. That was the show. This is District Divided, a DC sports podcast, more specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. I am Muhammad. That is K-Dot as he figures out the thank you screen. And before we leave, if you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and K-Dot.
I can't do anything. Hey, share this shit and then contact these fucking assholes at StreamYard and tell them to fix their shit. They can't keep raising the price and then just do this nonsense. Why can't I scroll? I can't do anything. I can no, if I do that, then I'm not gonna be able to get it back.
Wait, maybe I could do it. Hold on.
Can you?
I think I can. Hold on. Media assets. Yep. I think I got it. Oh, maybe not though. Wait, guys, do this. Do this. God, that was fun. That was fun.
Not see now the overlay is completely gone. God
oh, it's gone. It's gone. This is what happens when I take over. Hey, you want to see our injury report again? That's what that looks like.
Yeah, we got things to do. Like, hey, tight ends.
Oh, got it. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. I'm gonna hit this end recording button, Kate. I believe.
I can do that. I got it. I got that one.
Go ahead.
All right. Bye, everybody.
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.